My current relationship with my daughter is very turbulent. Andrea has a sense of entitlement.
I feel justified that we didn't pay rent. We put a lot of work into that house.
She exhausted my funds. I'm telling her that they need to pay rent, and she's always used medical stuff as an excuse. She had 2 heart attacks, and she was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I feel bad about all of that, but my mortgage company doesn't care. I gave them an ultimatum that they either needed to start paying rent or move. The fight was on. It wasn't like I said, let's figure out another way to make her more miserable. She called me a selfish bitch, greedy, you're a lousy mother, you're a monster.
Well, here's what her daughter Andrea wants you to know before you pick sides.
I call my mom Saint Vicky. She acts like she does everything. Like, look at me, look how perfect I am, and look at all I do for Andrea. My mom bought a home and we lived there. She didn't have a problem with us not paying rent. She knew we didn't have the money. She would tell us, don't worry about paying, you need the money, and then hold it over our heads like we're horrible people. My mom is very manipulative, very controlling. She just blows up. She'll scream and yell. She says, I'm a spoiled brat, I'm being a bitch. She's called me white trash. My mother made the ultimatum I needed to move out or pay her rent. I'm upset at the timing. In December of '07, I had a heart attack. I believe that my mom's caused a lot of my stress. I was diagnosed with cancer 4 months ago. It's like 6 years, and all of a sudden now you have to pay rent when you have cancer. We didn't have any money. I had $60 in my bank account. How could we give her rent? All she cares about is the money. I'm not even as important as her house. I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful because she's given us a lot, but I felt really betrayed by her. She didn't realize how much I lose by having cancer, so I've lost my whole life. And she just doesn't even see how that hurt me. That was my home I lived in for almost 7 years, where I felt comfortable and safe. And she took all of that away.
Okay, so what it sounds like, you picked a time when she was really having serious health problems. After 6 years, you chose that time to kick her out. What do you say about that?
That's not the truth, and she knows that's not the truth. I've been telling her all along. She moved out a year ago.
No, you kicked me out a year ago.
Because you had a boyfriend and you're running around town with him.
Mom, you know that's not even true.
That is true, Andrea.
So you kicked me out because you didn't like my lifestyle?
Yes, and I told you exactly then I was not. The reason why you lived in that house with those grandkids was because of the kids. You know, it's like you had Melody, and that's what was started with. And then you decided to have another baby and bring him into the family. And we had a big argument that Christmas. So don't say that I just started.
Because of you. We had an argument because of you. You didn't like the fact that I told Melody that she needed to behave. You said in your house, Melody should be able to do whatever she wants.
No, that was the argument.
The
ending of the argument was you screaming and hollering at me saying, I've never been a mother. I've never been there for you.
Have you really?
And I told you to bring the car that I had been paying for that year and get out of that house.
No, I
and get out of that house.
I was giving you the car.
That was that Christmas.
So
Simon was right there.
So it was punitive.
It's been told over and over.
But it was punitive. You were saying, I don't like the choices you're making, so I don't want to support those
Exactly.
choices. Okay. Were you at all sensitive to the fact that she had life-threatening illnesses?
Yes, and I told her, that's why I told her they could move in the house with me. And they had talked about doing that a month before that. Simon was the one that told me that they weren't going to be able to afford to pay for insurance, and that they would have to move in the house with me.
Simon?
Yeah, her house, unfortunately, would be great because it's huge, as you've seen. In her house, it's not kid-proof. It's never going to be kid-proof, and she wasn't going to make it kid-proof for us.
What's your goal here?
Dr. Phil, when this all started, I hoped that she would move in because of the cancer. I wanted to take care of her, and I was taking care of her. I'd been to the doctor visits. I mean, she can sit there and say, I've never been there.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.